So I primarily have a lot of experience working with Japanese. Just to highlight few things, it's very important. I think there is a lot of learning that happens when you are working on with a Japanese company. When we say Japanese company, we primarily are saying that they are very minute to the detail. When we say detail in the sense, just to give you an example, we say, I will be there in 2 minutes. So 2 minutes is 2 minutes, 120 seconds only is 2 minutes. It is not that we say 2 minutes and we come after 20 minutes. So I think there is a completely cultural gap. So for them 2 minutes is 2 minutes. But for us we always say 2 minutes and we walk in after 10 minutes or 15 minutes for a meeting. So I think it's very difficult for them to understand Indian culture, as well as for us it's very difficult for Indians to understand their culture. So that's where you primarily have to understand that they are very conscious about every small detail. When I'm talking about a small detail, I'm also trying to tell my experience in the sense that if we primarily have a commitment that this project will be delivered today of 8th November, it is 8th November. So it is not that you can say that 9th November. In 9th November, you have failed. That is the detail I'm talking about. So effectively, we have to understand that they are very meticulous, they are very conscious about every detail, they are very conscious about every commitment that you make. So when we say that a meeting will start at 9:30, they are all there in the room by 9:25. And meeting starts at 9:30. And if the time is 10:30, it will get over by 10:30. But we have a tendency that, I'm just trying to tell you that we start at 9:45, go until 11 o'clock. No, 9:30, 10:30, period. So that is where it is. And they're very hardworking professionals. So what I mean to say is that we cannot give blame excuses. There was a Bharat Bandh, or there was a bus strike, so I came late, I did not get a bus. No. I think you have to plan that if you have to reach a meeting spot, or you have to deliver a project, or you primarily have a commitment, you have to ensure that you do the back work and ensure that you primarily, but this will inculcate self-discipline is what I have learned personally. Okay, so this is where it is that I do a lot of planning before I really enter into a meeting with the Japanese. So I do my homework. So these are some of the work culture that you have to really learn across. And I personally think you agree with me. It is good, no? Yes or no? Yes. Yeah. So, and then they are very meticulous about products and processes, especially on the quality. So what I'm trying to tell you is, I'll just give you an example. One of the project, that SST that we primarily was supposed to deliver, it was to be on time to market basis. When we say time to market, there is a customer sitting and we have to deliver it at a scheduled time. We did not deliver and the customer cancelled the project, for which we had a loss of $30 million. So the catch is that if you are not able to do a time to market a project, it does not make sense for us to survive in the business. So the business head flew down from Japan and said that I really cancelled this project. So we had to primarily wind up the project. So that is where I'm trying to say that they are very particular in terms of commitment, in terms of deliverables. When we say that, we also should not have any shortcuts in terms of having, we do certain shortcuts or we do certain bypass in terms of processes. So the processes have to be very continuous and it should be thoroughly checked, and they expect zero bug. Zero bug means zero bug. The quality shipment should be in such a way that it should be a high deliverable, quality oriented product. And if there is any small bug that happens, we have to do a complete rework, which will again run into overtime. Primarily customer relationship, Kanban, which is also respond to demand, which is common. Of course, in Toshiba, I think this is a very common phrase. In Japanese company, generally it's a lifetime employment. So anyone who joins will retire. Okay, and even after the retirement age, they also will get extended as a consultant. So further for another 4 to 5 years. So that's the employment opportunity. So effectively, a person joins as a fresher but retires at the age of either 58 or 60 years, and further extension by another 4 to 5 years, so till 65. So that's the commitment that each employee primarily gives to the organization. And he works with them, he grows along with them. Work recognition is very important. Primarily, they will understand across the globe who contributes what, and primarily very few people are selected for their outstanding contribution, and that primarily gets recognized. So what I mean to say is that the organization is such a huge organization, but nevertheless has also a process to identify the excellent contributions or excellent contribution that they make towards the project or the business, and they get rewarded. So there is a work recognition also happens simultaneously. Okay, now I will come to the use case study. When we talk about the use case study, I think this I'm talking about T6 example of how we primarily initiated Japanese skills and how they have grown. One of the corporate objective is to have a diversified profile, and as you see from the data, around 56% is from Japan. But otherwise, many of the people are either being recruited from other countries, and that's the percentage that is there. So we primarily believe that diversity is one of the key factors for our success, and we primarily ensure that creating a diversified environment would bring in a lot of new ideas, new perceptions, new conventions that is there for the growth. So that's because if they are into the same Japanese culture, then probably they are into the same conventional methodology. So what is our business model in terms of bringing in Japanese skills to our business? Because we are a Toshiba Group company and we have a lot of Indian engineers, but if we have to work with Japan and all the projects are in Japanese, so obviously we thought about this and we said that we primarily have to recruit, either we recruit Japanese skills or we primarily recruit Indian engineers and impart Japanese language skills. So that's where it is. So if you really look at, we primarily started a new business initiative wherein, a couple of years back, we used to recruit freshers from different universities, a batch of almost around 40 to 50 people, and then around who are interested to learn Japanese language undergo around 4 months of classroom training, and after 4 months they are given an opportunity to write the GLPT N4 or entry exam. Some write entry or some write N4, and once you qualify that, you obviously have a better edge of learning the Japanese skill, and you are primarily placed as a bridge engineer. So what happens is that we primarily give that opportunity for the fresh engineers to join. Other opportunity is that we primarily go and recruit from certain universities which impart Japanese language skills, but nevertheless they may be having only fundamental skills, but then we again bring them and then impart our GLPT classes. So that's where is our approach. Our partner has been SNRC, and I think I should thank Srividya ma'am and Mr. Anand for partnering with us for the last 15 to 16 years, and they have been doing training year upon year, okay? And effectively, even now also currently they are doing an entry program, which is for almost around close to 220 hours. So effectively what happens is that we identify resources who are primarily interested to build their skills, and then primarily teach them and then deploy them on a long-term basis in Japan. That's the objective. So if you really see, these are some of the things where what measures we have taken to enhance the Japanese proficiency or Japanese skills. Just for your understanding, if you really look at what is GLPT is nothing but Japanese language proficiency test. There are 5 levels. 5 is the foundation level, 1 is the highest level. If you really look at N2 and N1 is almost equivalent to like a native of a Japanese native. It's very difficult to go through, but nevertheless I think over a period of time these many members have gone through and they have qualified N5, N4, N3, N2 like that. So these are some of the members over a period of time, last 7 to 8 years, who have completed different professional qualifications on the JLPT side. Now our journey, as I said, if you really look at the plan B cycle, and if it is for beginners training, it will be N5 and N4, and if it is intermediate, it will be N4, N3, and if it is advanced, will be primarily N2 and N1. So these are the different trainings that we provide. It is mandatory that each one has to cross each level. You cannot directly go into N3 or N2. It's very impossible. So our language partner has been SNRC all throughout. What is the opportunities for bridge engineers? So these people who learn Japanese skills come to again projects, and they primarily become as the bridge engineers, because our business that we work across is between India and Japan. So there is a lot of interface that happens, either through audio calls or video conference call, or primarily for the on-site offshore members visiting on-site for business discussion, or the customer coming to India. So the bridge engineer plays a very important role, since he has good domain knowledge and skills and technical competencies with the technical and language skills. He plays a very important role as a bridge. There is also on-site offshore closer proximity, because in some of the business divisions in Toshiba, the customer cannot speak English at all. It's very difficult. He cannot even speak ABC. So there, I think that the bridge engineers play a very important role in terms of translating what the bridge engineer's expectation or the customer's expectation in terms of the project requirements and how they primarily execute. And then there is also a stronger relationship and bonding. And definitely the bridge engineers play a very important role for T6 growth, business growth. So he primarily ensures that he builds certain proof of concepts or POCs, or he also acts as a BDM, business development manager, interfacing with the customer and try to bring in projects, and that projects are getting executed from the offshore. So these are some of the models that we are executing, and we are currently very successful by deploying bridge engineers in Japan on a long-term basis as well as on the short-term basis, and how we primarily have enhanced the growth. Today, if we are 1,200 employees, it's all because of the closer contact by having bridge engineers at different business locations and helping us to grow business. Finally, I just would like to say there is a testimonial. One minute.
あるんです。東芝テックディビジョンに働いています。日本語を学ぶことは私の仕事の中で私を大いに助けてくれました。今、私はテレビ会議で日本の会話を理解することができます。まだ日本の生活や文化や習慣をよく分かることができます。私のチームの日本の同僚が英語をあまり話さないので、クライアントとのやり取りが今、簡単になっています。一回くださり、ありがとうございます。何もして、あるんです。
私は東芝で12年ぐらいは働いています。東芝テックビル社に働いています。東芝で働くとソフトウェア開発だけじゃなくて製品開発の企画から製造まで全体のプロセスはいっぱい学ぶことができました。日本に生きていて日本の同僚と働くと日本の生活や文化やあと人間などさまざま日本の魅力をできました。
And they joined like you as a fresh engineer, and they went through different levels of JLPT. And in fact, Meena, she was in Japan for almost around 5 years, and she's now just returned back due to certain family reasons. And Arvind, primarily the earlier boy, he was also from 2008 back. He's a project leader, and he keeps going and coming to Japan. So they primarily have learned Japanese level up to entry level, and today they are as bridge engineers for Toshiba. So that's where I would just like to conclude, and thank you very much for all the help.
Thank you, sir. The presentation was indeed informative. I now request Dr. S.K. Prasad to give the speaker a memento. Time to listen to our second speaker of the day, Mr. Ramanuja Mysore. I will now request Krupa to introduce the speaker.
He is the CEO of Bravos Consulting Services. Dr. Ramanuja Mysore is a well-known HR professional in the IT and manufacturing circles in Bangalore. In the recent past, he was the vice president and leading global companies like IBM, Kyocera, Biocon, and Mitsubishi. He holds a doctorate in strategic HR specializing in field sales force and executive leadership program from Jack Welch Management Institute, USA, and organization design specialization from University of London. With over 25 years of work experience at global organizations like IBM, Kyocera, Biocon, and Mitsubishi, he was driven organization transformation, merger and acquisitions, union negotiations, and driven innovative HR practices. He was recognized with IBM Bravo Award for leading IBM India into global HR standards and controls called ASCA and ITCS 204 and successful certification and PCNM level HR processes. He is blessed with many corporate awards and team awards, the recent ones being the Asia Pacific HR Leadership Award in 2018 at Singapore and 101 Top HR Leaders in Mumbai in 2019. As a passion to percolate best HR practices, he participates in panelist discussion, speaker sessions at various HR forums in India and Singapore, and a member guide in academic council in few management institutes. I welcome you, sir.
Good morning, Dr. Prasad, SNRC team. Thank you for giving this wonderful opportunity. Happy to connect back with Rakul time where we frequenting some of the events in Japanese. So before I start and get into the presentation of why bilingual talking is very important, I'd like to understand from the crowd here or the student community, how many of you talk more than 2 languages? So if you look at it, I can count as 10, 20, about 40 of you out of the 100 crowd, right? Which language do you prominently speak? Other than Kannada? Next. Next. Kerala is not a language. Fine. So going by the Constitution of India, days of the Indian history, was able to attract foreigners. We had foreign visitors right from Portugal, Spanish, China, right? Not many kingdoms were able to establish what is called as a trade business other than the western part of India. So if you look at the western region of India, is where the highest trade happened in the medieval days. The reason why I asked you this is, our ability to interact with another person is the basis of communication on which the strengths develop. If 2 of you friends sit in a tea shop, hey macha, ingide macha, hey machi, we talk this. We are able to talk because the other person on the other side sipping the tea with you is able to communicate in that language. Do we agree or not? Even in the exam when we want to copy, I don't know how many of you genuinely do that, we need to understand which question is that for which my English should be equally good. Do we agree or not? Right. Now here is where the communication goes, and as we look at it, the world today is in a very advanced communication based system. There is no need of humor. If you look at it, there are robots which interpret the entire conversations into different languages. Have we seen or not? Google has already patented. But where does our strength come in? Right. Google in 2004 did an experiment called as Project Oxygen. Now, before I come to that, I want you to Google that and find out what am I referring to. I'll go back to the slides. Google it, Project Oxygen. It is very vital for all of us engineering graduates who are sitting here, because tomorrow's capabilities are based on that project. Right? Now here we go. A deep dive into career opportunities of bilinguistic education. What do we mean by this? Thanks to Vincent sir, he very well explained on what it is all about. So, we look at it, it's simply is the ability that people in general can communicate, talk in two languages and ways interpreting events in three. That's the bilingual communication all about. The same set of people will also become multilingualistic if they are able to talk more than two languages, which we all experienced in the last couple of minutes. Common phenomenon today where individuals are able to talk is native but also in Hindi and foreign language. Just a brief explanation of what is bilingual personality all about. We then talk about a research that was done on why is it important to have bilingual capability. The research done by Dr. Mehdi Lazar from Berkeley, she says that the advantage is that there are 5. Their cognitive abilities will be significantly higher. What an opportunity. My ability to have focus in the job. In today's world, how many of you are seeing me, I don't know. But I can see some of your eyes are closed, right? Or attention elsewhere. Job and WhatsApp is very important. Now this is the deficiencies we need to avoid, because when we take a job, focus is very important. At the same time, organizations are changing. People take up multiple projects. If you go to, yes, some of my companies where last week I was talking about, they don't have a hierarchy of organization. As an engineer, I take up one job with Vincent sir, one job with Anand sir, one job with Professor Prasad. I multitask. My appraisal doesn't go with a particular pattern. My appraisal goes as what Mr. Vincent says, that this task is 100%. So does Mr. Anand, so does Dr. Prasad. Multitasking is very important. Right? We are very good on WhatsApp typing. Shifting screens. Job in the future will be like that. We will be multitasking. Better adaptability. So many of you here, when I asked you about languages, right, you told 5-6 languages. Now the ability to mix with people itself shows that you are adaptable to different challenges. Cultural fluency, what I just talked about, and more opportunities. Being good or an orator in multiple languages, you will make more friends, you will be more visible, and more or less, that is what is going to be the key factor in a crowded marketplace. Remember, how you can be unique, like how Mr. Vincent mentioned, is that add-on punch that I carry. So we saw Arvind San, we saw Meena San. Now they made a career for themselves. If you look at yesterday's news, Infosys laid off 10,000 people. But if they belong to that category and live like an octopus, you will survive. Anybody understanding why an octopus? Why an octopus? Thank you. So this is very important, and this is what we then look at the modern India. So if we today look at, everybody talks about Modi did not do that, Modi did not do that, Amit Shah did not do that. What is the relevance of Modi or Amit Shah? If you are capable, you will find a career for yourself. Do we agree or not? Yes. Now that is what this talks about. 1945, when Second World War ended, Japan was bombed to death. Hiroshima and Nagasaki were in ashes. Do we all agree to that? It's the same 2 years later, India got its independence. Two countries, just compare, they are the third largest economy. We are still battling rise up in the world into the first 10 of the world. Are you understanding the difference? What we spoke about focus, what we spoke about multitasking, right? Japan is all nothing else. Between 1945 and 2019, when I go to the slides as we move on, we'll be surprised to see the number of patents, number of organizations, and the way they have taken their country forward. And it's not because of anyone, it's all because of the good old English saying, engineers make the world. Do we agree with or not? So Japan is all about that. Okay? So we move on. So India is moving towards that, and what is very important is India is not able to do it by itself. It requires FDIs from larger economy countries. What do we mean by FDI? Fantastic. Let's give a big clap for us. Very big clap. Thank you. It's only to wake you up, that's all. Right. All of us are there, our friends are there. I am happy to share that some of my own classmates studied here, the alumnus of this college. One of the renowned guy I can say is called Ram Prasad Murgala. Rampi is well known as, very well known in the mobile industry segment, and he's called the guru of CDA. Right? So much so we chat up, but still we look at countries to invest in us. Many countries invest in us from the global economy, tier 1 countries, tier 2 countries. USA is number 1. But very interestingly, Japan stands significantly high, and that's why we need to look at Japan as an alternative career and learn Japanese where institutions like SNRC can help you. So here's what the story goes like. The availability of abundant engineering resources, particularly in the peninsular part of the country, has made Japan think to relocate their engineering manufacturing activities into India. So earlier, if you see, Japan used to manufacture the equipments, ship it all the way, and take the U-turn and go all the way via the peninsular India, then reach up European markets. Now Japan, on the contrary, is significantly investing in India, and if you look at that, it's the 3rd highest language learned in India and 4th globally. Learned, not spoken. Please understand the difference between what Mr. Vincent showed you and what I am talking about. I am talking about the spoken. French, Spanish take the upper, Germans take the upper slot, and Japanese take the. Doesn't stop there. Japan has also gone ahead, and they had done about 4.7 billion investment in 2017, and the list goes on and on. And what is the most happening thing from a Japanese perspective in India today? What is hot? What is hot? President Modi has inaugurated it. What is that? I'll give you a hint. It's called Shinkansen. Right. So how many of you are interested to work on bullet train? Nobody? At least travel? Generate the engineering interest. It's very interesting because in our Indian railway station, which is a train which hit a big speed in the recent past. Train 18. So how much did it hit? We're almost talking 2 times that speed when bullet train comes in. It's very interesting engineering that's coming. A lot of interest. So as we look at why Japan is more important for India than a French national, Germany, because if you look at the number of companies that are coming to India is now about 2,100. Talks about 2017, 2019 is about 2,100. It's a significant career opportunity for many of us. You need to learn an add-on language which could be better for you from a career perspective, because if you look at the top 4 engineering nations where there has been significant development in the last 10 years, can you name the top 4 nations? This is the first country in engineering. US, followed by right, Japan, and last is India. Now 4 countries are the focus part in the world engineering community because they are seeing the abundance of resources available here, and you all have a significant big opportunity, for which you need to learn Japan, which is far more easier than compared to any other. And this is in India how they are invested, and state-wise distribution of how opportunities are available. Some of you told I am from Kerala. Yes, in Kerala you have 136 companies already there. So for all of us, the Veera Kannadigas, we already have a big 509 companies there. So on it goes. Maharashtra has, I think, the next biggest number. So this is a brief view of how it looks like from an industrial perspective. But when you look at the worldwide fraternity of those who are learning Japanese as an additional language, here is how the distribution looks like. They are spread all across. It's not that career or speaking is only required in Japan. Like how Mr. Vincent was telling, the bridge career is required everywhere. We all have that joke, right? When Neil Armstrong went to moon, who was there? We make that joke. It's like that. Everywhere you go, the world engineering companies, Japan stands top, and Japanese language professionals are spread all across the world. Right? So you have large opportunity. And this is the growth rate of the JLPT professionals worldwide. So in 1984, it was a significantly low thought, but whereas if you look at 2016, you had more than almost 8.5 lakh people who are JLPT certified. So much so is the demand because everything that Japan does in engineering, the documents will be in native Japanese. Those of you who are from, how many of you are from mechanical engineering? Fantastic. Electrical? Nobody. You're all powerless. Electronics? Instrumentation control? Now if I look at that one by one, there is a significant opportunity base. In Mitsubishi when we had people, I had about 9 engineering specialists up to level 3, level 4 certification. And their ability to interpret the 3D model drawings, SP3D, CAD, into Indian language and work on modification of that based on Indian clients, Asia Pacific clients, as well as the EMEA clients was significant strength they found. Basis this trend, Mitsubishi decided that I am going to look at engineering manufacturing in India and cater to my Asia Pacific requirement, cater to my Middle East and Europe requirement as well, because my shipment time reduces significantly, which means my cost reduces significantly, and they found that there is a lot of abundance. And this is how the worldwide reasoning of why I need to learn Japanese comes like. 24% say that it's useful at work or will be useful. 35% say that I want to increase my own opportunity or proficiency. Same here. 44% say that they are all for higher education, and 27% say that it's for the employment. So more or less when you look at it, there is a big 60 plus or 75% need for such professionals where you can be. Here we look at what are the career options that I can opt for myself. Irrespective of the stream that I come in, it starts with the support functions, an academic lineup where people look for graduations and masters. The core semiconductor industry, software industry, pharma industry, chemical industry, they look at all requirements. That is people from the stream of instrumentation control and data analytics, artificial intelligence, robotics, right? And it goes on. Manufacturing, that is the biggest opportunity base that's there in India. Right from the ones who have got a diploma to the ones who have got a doctorate, manufacturing has a very, very, very big opportunity. Here is where significantly big opportunities are there, which generally in India gets loose. They don't look into these opportunities because most of the Indian crowd, like Vincent sir mentioned, and Anand sir mentioned, they go with the herd mentality. Now, if we look at the oil energy sector, telecom sector, power sector, heavy engineering, there is a very big opportunity. Mitsubishi and Toshiba are some of the pioneers in this. Their requirements go for 10 years. One project goes for 3 years. So by the time you complete 10 projects, more or less you come to the retirement stage. The pay packages, when you look at it, I can say it's more or 4x than what we all talk about software companies. Amazing in terms of career opportunities. Only thing is you need to unfurl yourself. What is it I want to do? Okay. So that's what it is. Top grades. I'm sure even in Mitsubishi it happens, or in Toshiba it happens. In Mitsubishi, we have people who come with top grades, who work on algorithms, data modeling, and complex circuits. And IIT Chennai, IIT Bombay has given us some very good mathematics modeling people who work out of Osaka in Japan. Very good opportunity. So you have it in research, you have it in AI and robotics. So if you look at the Mars missions, the moon missions, the NASA missions, Japan, you find either it is a Hitachi robo or a Honda robo that runs the entire activity. So opportunity for you is dependent on how versatile you are. Okay. Of course, Vincent sir did talk about embedded layers and stacks. There are a lot of opportunities. Sales marketing. Now here is where is important. There are other non-engineering organizations where language is very important, which is insurance, which is NBFC, logistics, machines, shipping, brokerage companies, banking companies. And the most important one today in India, post Modi has come in, is the defense sector and the railway sector, where you have all. Now this is the most important thing all of you have to deep dive into. These companies in the last 10 years have been awarded or granted so many patents. Now if you look at Sony, they had about 1688 patents, NEC about 715, Panasonic about 154, and the list goes on, right? Toshiba, you look at 1014, Mitsubishi had. Now, if you are passionate in engineering, and like Sir said, if you are very, very dedicated in your work, discipline, I'm sure you can be one and all. It doesn't stop here. They are in every field. How many of you have visited Toyota plant in Bangalore? No one? Please do that. I'll tell you why. They manufacture cars. And there are methods of finding out defects. Six Sigma and many other things. Their fault rate is 1 in billion. I visited 2 sections, the instrumentation and control and electronics, and the mechanical section. For every 1 lakh vehicles they produce, they expect, they don't create it, they expect that there could be a price order or there could be a nano meter of difference between the transmission or the bevel gear system or something. So much so is the Q philosophy. What is Q philosophy? Right. Japan means Q. You go to any Toyota plant, you can see a big red color Q put in place that talks about quality. Now, advanced such practices that Vincent sir mentioned, they are here. Even if you look at non-electrical, what we call as software, in the industries of automobiles and others, you can see Toyota has got 1959, Denso has 1003, Seiko, where we get precision watches, they have got some quality. So much so, Japan, per se, when we look at it, is a fantastic country to go. It's a very easy language to learn. You all saw that, right? They spoke something. Arvind and Meena. Did you catch any words? Huh? One word, one word. I'll take you for dinner. Whoever say one word. Who's that? He did not say that. He said that. Arvind said that. Meena-san did not say that, right? Watasiwa. Right? Like that very simple words. You don't need to sit in the class. As and when you mug, you will learn half the languages you can learn. Right? Now it's like, the Tamil Kannada. If you want to learn a Tamil song, you will learn it at a fast. Or a Kannada song. Or someone told I'm from Kerala. A Kerala song. So language is a passion. It's not fanaticism. Language is a passion. Mysore, where we are all studying, is where language was a passion. Sahitya, what we call in Kannada, right? This is the hub for that. So you are in a place where you can learn languages. The weather is like that. It's not bad. So you can learn languages. There are people from SNRC who can help you learn one additional language which is beyond your national language. That helps you very strongly in this disruptive world, particularly at a time where we talk about disruption. Right? If you read through the Fortune kind of 500 companies between 2010 and 2019, almost about 210 companies have exited the Fortune 500 list, which means my career prospects depends on my capabilities, not the company. So the more versatile I am, more opportunities on my plate. The more languages I know. I have my IBM friend who speaks both Japanese and French. Because of this, she got a job in Dubai. Now she is a country manager for Dubai. Although I am just sitting here and doing nothing, she is a country manager in Dubai. Her name is Reena. Are you understand? She's not from engineering thing, but she is heading a $2 billion revenue from that country. So much so the opportunity lies from not your academic background, but from your linguistic abilities. With this, I would conclude and thank you both, Dr. Prasad and SNRC. Wish you all the best.
I'm glad to introduce Mr. Ganesh Kumar. Ganesh Kumar has around 14 years of experience in product management, having worked on enterprise, B2B, B2C, B2B2C solutions in different roles in companies like Rakuten, Oracle, MetricStream, and so on. Currently serving as an Associate Director of Project Management in Rakuten, India, he is responsible for the New Age Identity and Access Management System, serving close to 2 billion users across the world. With a Bachelor's of Engineering and an MBA degree, his passion lies in bringing the best of the user experiences for these users while also building platforms for scale. Passionate about project management, he actively mentors people around his circles to inculcate the principles of building great solutions. He is an avid traveler, photographer, musician, and a runner. A true Mysorean at heart. I welcome you, sir.
I'm happy to be back on this podium. I've come here many times when I used to recruit for Orbit, where I used to work before. So, this is going to be a tricky part because I'm the guy standing in between you and your lunch. I was telling Rama Madam that this is the last session, and usually back in the college, the guy who takes the last session will be like, oh man, when is he going to leave this, right? So I'll try to make it as interesting as possible. So let's go. Thank you to the previous speakers, Vincent sir and Ramanujan sir, for setting up such a strong context about the platform and the need for skills and the wide importance that sets up the right enablement for the students here. My focus sequentially will be on how the Japanese folks have been building the products that they build and what goes into their mind and what sort of philosophy they get into, and what we can learn from them. And I'll tell you about the magical portion that we as Indians have that will help us leapfrog into a place where we really want to be. What is this? have iPhone? Just one. The students. Okay. But how do you know the name? Advertisements, of course. But does the design appeal to you? It does. And people who have it, you've heard good things from them, right? They flaunt with that. And you always dream of having an iPhone. So I had a new fresher join my team. And with her first salary, she got the most costliest iPhone. And I was baffled. Back in the day when I got my first salary, I handed it over religiously to my dad and said, Dad, what do you want me to do with it? And he said, yeah, put everything into FD because this is going to start saving. So that is how it is. Because the instant you know you can buy it because you love it. So that's the iPhone. And how did Apple come to where it is today? It's because of one guy called Steve Jobs and another Japanese guy called Guy Kawasaki, who back then when they were building the Macintosh, they had to present it in such a form to the world that it could appeal, at the same time meet all their demands, at the same time create such a bonding with the product that they don't want to give it up. I have heard many of my friends who have iPhones, they don't sell it back, they just keep it because there's some sort of an association that they have with it, they love it, they don't want to give it up. Right? It's such sort of a mentality or critical design elements that Steve Jobs and Guy Kawasaki had back then. One, to build the product, the other one, to market it the way the customers would want it. You would have looked at many Android phone ads like Samsung or whatever it is. They talk about, we have 108 megapixel camera, you can zoom in 50x, whatever it is. But then when you look at an iPhone ad, you know it is iPhone ad. All that they say is sure an iPhone. They don't talk about specs, they don't talk about what goes into it, because they're delivering the experience, and that is what it is known for, and that is what you love about it. What is this? Name the brand. Yes. Correct. How do you know about it? How do you know about it? Sorry? The symbol, yes, of course. But what made you think about the company and what made you know about the company? Apart from the crazy maverick called Elon Musk. Elon Musk? Okay. So you were introduced to it by Elon Musk and what it does and the kind of advancements it has. So much so that it has overtaken Toyota and the automobile industry, which is it is a pioneer. Like today, like literally 1 million people are waiting there, waiting for their cars to get delivered. Right? And again, some guy here believed that he can really do it as a tech company, beat the hell out of the automobile company, learning from the design principles, the quality principles, the Kaizen, and all those very good principles, and yet make those things happen. He was fighting against the impossible. He's dreaming of putting people on Mars. He knows that he cannot do it in his lifetime. But he's talking about a vision that is 300 years from now. He won't be alive to see it, but then he's setting the rules for that. And that sort of a visionary thinking is what takes into making these products. This one. Again, how do you know about it? You shop. Right? So these are the guys, I'm not sure how many of you know, they're popular for, obviously, their e-commerce business, but they're doing many things more apart from that. They are powering the International Space Station. That is the scale of things that they're doing. And how is that possible? It's again taking all those quality principles and all those things that one thought it is impossible in terms of being very disciplined, attention to details, and the precision that took them there, right? Otherwise, they wouldn't be there where they are. Again, Jeff Bezos has his own rocket company. Again, he's talking about going to Mars, and all of this is possible only when you extrapolate and the kind of confidence that you have in the current products, that it's not going to fail. Like the previous speakers were talking about the kind of precision they have and the kind of literally no failure rate they have. And that is the kind of quality that is required when you're trying to put someone on Mars. It's like this, right? If you're sitting in an airport, the pilot passes by and you ask him, what are the chances that you're going to take me from here to Goa? He says 50-50, imagine how you're going to feel, right? So that's what it is. The woman folks seem to get excited. Okay, so this is Yash, recently popular for the movie KGF. again, what did someone do here? Kannada industry is always frowned for doing remakes and bad storylines and whatever it is. But then a couple of people believed that if we are able to do something unique and leveraging on what someone already has, we can have rest of the people follow us, right? And that is setting a standard, setting an example, setting something that others wouldn't believe that can be done. You know why I'm bringing up all these examples towards the end of the session. All right, recognize this? Recognize this? Some of you, good. We have close to 20 lakh waiting lists in India. This one, especially the women. I see my wife searching for something, long-sleeved kurti, and then a picture comes up and she's sharing it with us. Do you know what binds all these three together? Geo? Sure, that's immediate. All right, this is what binds them together because they're all from Rakuten. And I'm here to talk about what goes into a Japanese company like Rakuten. One, of course, you've seen the traditional companies, the software companies, but then what goes into a company, again, that has a mix of mannerism like Elon Musk, that has the precision and the ability to extrapolate things like Steve Jobs and Guy Kawasaki and so on. We were founded in 1997, and it all started with few guys who could believe that they could do some internet business. And 139 billion is the overall earning that we've had. And the guys that you see there who are running, those are the live registrations that are happening at this point in time. And we're close to 1.3 billion users, and apart from that, we also have Viber, so we have close to 2 billion users. These other guys, the guy with the spaghetti on the right side, the white shirt, is the founder of Hiroshi Mikitani. There is Seichu-san and many others as well. So Miki was working in a bank, and he believed that shopping can be done on internet. It doesn't have to be that inconvenient that you go into a store, wait in a line, and pay the cash and buy it. He said, let's mix internet and shopping. People said he was crazy. He was mad and he was erratic, eccentric, and all that. And then he found a couple of people who believed that this can be done. And when they came together, they didn't assign any specific role to each other. They decided, we will do what it takes to make this dream happen. People say it's not going to happen, but we'll relentlessly pursue this dream. So one was doing marketing, one was doing coding, the other one was trying to keep the people together, and there was Mickey's wife obviously trying to ensure that that everyone sticks together. So they tried to sign up one merchant, they went live, they had their own failures, but they kept going. And today, we are close to 200 group companies. You can name the sector and we're there. It could be agriculture, it could be rapid APIs. We are into giving folks a very good experience as well in terms of cafe. And of course, we have the internet business, we have the Rakuten beauty, we have the drone services and all of this. So 20 years ago, someone didn't believe that they could merge internet and shopping, and we wouldn't be here. And again, it all depended on the eccentricity of the thinking that, hey, why don't we try this? How many of you here know Dennis the Menace, the cartoon character? He always does that, right? What does this button do, right? So that's the kind of curiosity that we should always have, and that is what some of the sentiments that come from the Japanese, that let's try this and let's see what happens, but at the same time, how do you mitigate the risk and how do you ensure that things don't go bafflingly wrong? But then again, there's one more lesson that usually comes off is, even if you fail, see that as a lesson. Don't be afraid to fail. And all of these group companies didn't get set without any failures, right? There were hundreds of failures to get to where it is. I still remember my first run. I did my 100-meter dash, and then I was baffling, and I was like, where is the glucose, where is the biscuit, and all that. I fell, and finally I'm able to run 30 to 40 kilometers, and that's what it is. You have to fall and pick those vital lessons. So we don't just run our own companies, but what we also do is have the mindset of believing in the ecosystem around us. So there are 4 or 5 big giants in the world when you talk about technology and disruptiveness. There is Facebook, there is Amazon, there is Apple, and all these companies together probably hold the maximum number of users in their ecosystem. I'm sure every one of you has a Facebook account, and almost all of you would have shopped on Amazon, right? So that's the kind of hold those 4 companies have. But then if you have to beat those companies, because monopoly is always bad, right? So you have to ensure that you are building an ecosystem and partnering with other folks so that there's no monopoly and you offer better solutions than the people that are already providing. So a few examples here. Lyft is a company which is very similar to Uber, but it's more popular than Uber in the US. Gojek is another bike renting company. It's in Indonesia. We invested in that and we were able to partner with them and innovate so much so that Uber is taking Gojek as a case study to improve their businesses. Cabify is another company. It's another cab renting company in Europe. Some of the places like Madrid where Cabify operates, Uber doesn't operate because they don't know if they're going to do well. That is this kind of stiff competition that we go with. And then we also are into a company called Curbside. Curbside is a unique concept where, say you want to have a Starbucks coffee or a pizza, and you don't want to wait for the order to come, and you're passing by that store, the store exactly knows with a precision of 60 seconds when you're going to pass, and the guy is already holding a pizza for you, and he picks up and then he goes. Recently there was a law passed in Japan that if you're going to dine in a restaurant or order food from a restaurant, it's going to cost you 2 to 4% more. So that means your expenditure increases. And most people in Japan, they most of the times eat outside food all the 3 times. So looking at anticipating such a law and looking at the technology that a company might have, we invested and today it's going to be. So again, it brings in the example of the mentality that one has and the bravery to invest in ideas that are disruptive. In terms of global presence, we are in most parts of the world. We have our main office in Tokyo called the Rakuten Crimson House, the color of the logo that we have. And we have many offices in Singapore, Bangalore of course, Paris, Boston, San Mateo, Belfast, all these places. We're close to 20,000 employees. Back in India, we are around 700 people. The India story is very interesting. When I joined the company, we were around 30 to 40 people. I still remember the first day, the second hour, I had a meeting. They said, yeah, product manager is going to attend this meeting. 1 hour, they were talking only in Japanese. I didn't understand a thing. And that's when it occurred to me that, yeah, when some people talk complex stuff, we tell them, man, this is rocket science. And some people say, oh man, that was Greek, Latin to me. No, I added one more, this is Greek, Latin, and man, this is Japanese to me. Because I wasn't understanding anything. Right? So that's the kind of alienated world that I entered into. And usually when you go into a stranger's place where you don't know the people, you tend to be very scared, right? But the Japanese folks are usually very, very warm and welcoming. And over a period of time, I grew into it. Because when I made a call to join Rakuten, I had office on Amazon and Flipkart as well. But then, from my previous experiences working with the Japanese folks, I decided let me go for this, but I didn't know that this was the kind of experience that I was in. So from a humble beginning of 30 to 40 people, in the last 4 to 5 years, we've been able to go to 700. And the initial years were very hard because the Japanese folks take a lot of time to get the trust. And why is that? Because you have to be precise, and you have to be persistent, and you have to be consistent. Just like Rahul Gandhi, you have to keep hitting that point again and again and again and again and again. And one fine day they'll say, yeah, man, I accept that. Okay? So that is where your patience gets tested out, and that is where the mentality of sticking to the quality comes into play. I still remember my first requirement document that I sent to them. Usually we try to ignore or not pay much attention to the topmost part, which has approver, who's the reviewer, and the dates and so on. The created date was missing the month. The rest of the details were fine. Since this was the first document I would share to my remote manager, I was like, yeah, man, this is going to blow his mind.